I'm trying to see like how beautiful it is out there. I don't know if we can flip it. Here, you give me a little feedback on there. Try this way. So, anyway, guys, I wanted to do this live stream because today has been 18 years since a horrible thing happened to our country, and I just kind of wanted to share my story and about, you know, everything that happened during that time. That was my that was my year to date being in the military, or in the Army that day. I had gone in September 11th of 2000. And I remember waking up that morning and going and doing PT and busting my balls all morning. And come back, got a shower, and get ready to go to either like our formation, or I think we went to I just had a little office I went to because that was kind of my job, dealing with the chemical stuff. I had my own little headquarters stuff. I was in a headquarters platoon of a medical unit. But yeah, I remember walking by my friend's room, and he was like, "Hey man, plane just hit the World Trade Center." So, you know, me being like not very highly advanced with my knowledge of thinking that, I was thinking like the Sears Tower in Chicago. I'm like, oh, ain't that Chicago? And I'm like, oh. Yeah, he's like, no, it's New York. And he happened to be from New York, so he was kind of like, you know, like, well, what's going on? But we stood there, you know, a couple minutes after watching it, the second plane hit the towers. And it's like, I remember the feeling of dread that just came over all of us, because immediately we knew what was going on. We knew that it was a terrorist attack. We knew that something was really messed up. And from there on, we were called to muster down at the front of the offices and everything, and we went down, and we spent the whole day watching everything going on and waiting for, you know, further instructions on what to do. And, you know, it changed my life. It affected everybody, for that matter. I think the whole country had some form of PTSD from it, you know, where it just always stuck in my brain. There, years after that, like, seeing like images of it just really jacked me up in my head. It made my tears come to my eyes. And it just, not only being in the military, it just meant a lot as being American and standing up. And the reason I want to do this live feed was because if you remember, after September 11th, it didn't matter what race or religion or what sex you were, anything you believed in. Everybody stood up for the same cause, and stood up and was proud to be an American. And everybody supported each other. And these days, 18 years later, I see how the country is right now. And, you know, it's kind of like, think about it, it's sad that it took something like that bad to bring people together. And as an American, it would be really nice to see people come together again. You know, there's a lot of taking sides in our country right now. It's split. And, you know, I think that if it doesn't change, it could lead to bad things. You know, you hear people talking about the word civil war coming out of their mouth. You know, they're saying that for a reason, because that's how the country is right now. I think we all need to remember where we came from and what honor and being proud to be an American stands for, and everybody come back to get together and stand up for one cause. You know, I don't think with the way we are right now, we're very strong as a country. We might have assets that make us strong, like a very powerful military and things like that. But I just, it could, you know, it needs to be, things need to be changed, man. Things need to change. I don't know what that's going to take. I'm not a political person. I don't really try to take sides. I think there's a lot of issues going on, but something's got to give, and I don't want it to be that give be another major event like that. They don't need it. I mean, over 3,000 people died in those towers. And then, you know, a lot more died in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, in my situation, I trained with my unit at Fort Campbell, and I was ready to go with them and everything. And then one day I opened my mailbox and had orders to go to South Korea. And I did everything humanly possible. My commander, my first sergeant, we all tried to get it up higher to get them to drop the orders so I could go with my unit to go to Iraq. And it just never happened. So I went to Korea, spent a year over there, and then finished my contract in the military. I got out due to being married to my first wife, and it was just, you know, she wanted to have a family and all that, and it, I guess I should have listened to my own self and decided that, but, you know, I kind of let somebody else, you know, urge me to that, and it's nothing against her. She's a wonderful person. She's my child, she's my mother of my child, and she's an excellent mother and everything, but it's just, you know, maybe in that situation I should have thought about it more, but, you know, it is what it is. I can't go back and change that, you know. But I just wanted to kind of start this live stream off about this subject, being that it is September 11th, and kind of wanted to do my own moment of silence for a minute. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody. I'd like to know if anybody's got any anything to say, any questions and stuff, or their own opinion or all their own stories and stuff. Maybe you could share just a quick chat down in the bottom, you know.
I remember mostly feeling totally helpless that day. I was in my college dorm. I was in my first year of college, and I remember hearing it on the radio as my radio alarm went off that something big had happened. So I turned on the TV in time to, like you, in time to see the second tower
Billy
fall.
Rain, shut your fucking mouth, man. This ain't time to joke around.
And
I'm just playing, man.
Thank you for interrupting me.
I'm sorry. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. You know Billy Rain's always got something to say. Go ahead.
No, that's it. You could have said that after my story, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. I apologize. Please.
That's
please
okay.
Continue.
That was the
Please
end.
continue. I did. Please continue.
Do you remember what I said?
You said about being in your college dorm and feeling helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, please continue.
Because I was just a civilian college student. What could I do? So I went and I donated blood. And that was all I could really think to do to help.
Yeah. I can tell you that I felt helpless. Like completely helpless, even though I was in the military at the time. It was just the feeling of dread that came over I remember, like I was saying, like we were sitting there watching it and everything when it first happened, the second plane hit. Because up until the second plane hit, nobody at that moment, there were some people that in New York that witnessed what happened and knew it was a jetliner, but everybody was confused. I mean, even the own government was confused as far as that goes, you know. And yes, Billy, if you want to have your conspiracy theory, you know, jet fuel doesn't burn hot enough to melt steel. No, but it sure can get hot enough to weaken it. And when you got several floors above that, and you burn for hours and hours and hours, or a few hours, I mean, at that, and you've already weakened certain beams, knocked out by, you know the force. It's kind of like, aluminum hitting steel, but when you're going 550 miles an hour and you have all that jet fuel, you ever see what it feels like to have a water balloon hit you upside your face, thrown at 20 miles an hour? You know, you have that force hitting that building. It took out beams as it was. So you take out several floors and you got heat that weakens the steel, you know, and all that fire protectant on it, you know, is knocked off from the force of the impact to begin with. And you got several floors above that. Once that collapsed, man, you get a pancaked effect. So, yeah, there's several conspiracy theories, and some of them seem reasonable, and I'm not going to say that. I'm not necessarily saying that the building couldn't collapse, but there's a lot of things that, like, if you ever watch Zeitgeist on YouTube, I mean, that tells you a lot of stuff, but I'm not getting into this conspiracy theories. The fact that people were killed and all that stuff, you know, it was just a bad day, man, and I'm just doing this video to remember some of my friends that went over had to go to war and died over all this stuff. So I remember in them. Billy Raines, you ought to understand that. I believe you got deployed. So, alright, I'm going to read some comments here. Let's see. My cousin Timmy, I was in elementary school when it happened, sitting in class that talked about news and trades and like trading stuff and stock brands. Somebody said the structure was compromised. Yes, it was. It was compromised. Oh, Ralph, you said I lost a good friend and customer that day in Tower Number 2. You know, sorry to hear that, man. You know, there were, like, my friend that I was watching it with. He was from New York. He had a lot of family and friends and knew people that worked there, and he was terrified. I remember that was part of the most horrible thing was seeing, you know, in our unit we had a few people that lived in New York or were from New York, and that just the terror on their face in itself was just I'll never forget that. The look of somebody wondering and not knowing and not getting. We couldn't even call anybody. I don't know if anybody remembers, but cell phones that day were the whole system was completely jammed.
Yeah. You
could hardly get through to anybody. I remember the weirdest thing was when they grounded all the airplanes. Normally you can look up on any day in any direction and find an airplane flying in the sky. I remember how crystal clear it was that morning, and not a single daggum airplane was in the sky. It was just weird, you know. Ralph, don't worry about Billy, man. He's a good dude. He's just messing around. That's why I kind of said, you know, Billy, it's the time to mess around. I mean, but Billy's a good guy. He's just, and he went to war. I mean, got deployed over there, so he did his part. You know what I mean? So I give him mad respect for that. He got to go. When I say it like that, is because I didn't get to go. Maybe I'm fortunate for that, you know, in some type of way that I didn't have to go, but at the same time, man, I trained with my buddies, and I didn't get to go because just the way the military things work out sometimes. But I have to remember, people reminded me this so many times, that the military is a machine and an engine, and an engine requires all the parts to be able to function properly. And if you're one part of that machine, you know, you're doing your job to make the whole machine work correctly. So you saw Bush fly over being escorted by several fighters. Yeah, I remember. Where was, I think it might have been like one or two, but we saw like 3 planes flying together up high somewhere. We were in Fort Campbell. I don't know. They were flying all over the United States for several hours. They had him up in the air, just keeping him in the air, so he was safe, just in case, you know, other attacks took place. And they were worried about if anybody might have got a hold of a, you know, a weapon of mass destruction, like a nuke or a dirty bomb, or a chemical weapon, or a biological weapon.
That was their strategery.
Strategery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we at least, you know, thought. I mean, you can get on all that if they had weapons of mass destruction or not, but the thing is, we went after Bush. It was just, we went after Saddam because it was the perfect time to just go ahead and go get him anyway, because he'd already threw chemical weapons on the Kurds back in the 80s anyway, and he already was a war criminal, might as well. I mean, you know, and he was in cahoots, at least we believe so, you know, who knows. But that's what I'm saying, Bill. You need to grow the fuck up and remember, this day is for fallen soldiers. It's not about the jet fuel. And just remember, when you're thinking about realizing that, you know, it's true. I'm not, you know, maybe it was the wrong time for Billy to joke around. You know, you know, it is what it is. That's Billy, man. If y'all gotta know Billy, man. He's just hardcore like that. He'll say he'll say. I mean, he's joking. I mean, I understand, but he'll say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. So, Ridge Runner, I'm so sorry to hear that happened to you. He said his brother got killed on the 86th floor of Tower 1.
Damn.
It's not a good day for me. Ridge Runner, that makes me hurt inside, because I understand it just brings back memories, man, because I remember seeing, like I said, so many people that in my unit that were from New York, and new people that were just, I didn't know anybody there, but it was a very sad day for all of us, and I'm sure
horrifying to see those towers fall, and knowing how many people were in them.
And the Pentagon too. We can't forget the Pentagon. We can't forget Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania. I believe it was Pennsylvania. You know, and as far as that case goes, we learned later that, you know, 2 Americans went and kicked in the door and fought till the very end with the hijackers.
There goes T-Pain Trucking.
And we just saw a truck that go by and said T-Pain Trucking. Yeah, he's an auto tuner too. Yeah, Timmy, thanks for commenting about that other guy. You know, the biggest thing that I'm doing this video is about how people are in this country are just like split in so many directions. But after that day, we weren't. And I remember people saying after that happened, man, it's sad that it took something like that for people to come together to stand as one. And I believe in our day and age, man, there's so much crap with people, like back and forth, like on the internet, and mostly on the internet, and then in politics, people just can't, just almost, I mean, like, not almost childish, but just childish freaking things. Like,
extremists, like white nationalists versus Antifa.
Yeah, all these, you know, and none of them are. Everybody's doing it because they disagree with something. Just because you disagree with something, sit down like an adult, have a conversation. That's the part of the problem. The conversation needs to be started between these people instead of the first thing you do is throw punches. You know what I mean? It's just, it eats me up inside, man. And anybody y'all know me and know my YouTube, I've started a little bit of drama. You know, I kind of, especially about the werewolf.
Truckers are so dramatic.
Truckers are dramatic too, but you know that's always been that way, from my understanding. And what is up, the fishing trucker? What is going on? I have to lean forward to read it because the words are so small. You know, she's got her phone set like the smallest print possible, and I'm like, what is it say? So, oh man, so this is not the, you know, today is just a rough day for me. It has been in the past. It's easier for me now because I had to come to terms with some stuff, you know, but it still will never be a good day. Right over here to my left, it's quite a little ways. There's a big, huge, beautiful flag that's at half mast and
half staff.
Half mast. Is it half mast or half staff? I think there's two. I think it said both ways. I can't remember that. Thank you for the service to our country. Oh, you're welcome, Ralph. I mean, don't thank me. Everyone is entitled. I respect all the fallen soldiers, but I'm pretty sure one of the rights they died for is freedom of speech. Yes, it is. Oh, Billy, I never said you can't say what you want to say, man. I never said that. That's why I backed you up and said that's just Billy. You're kind of hardcore, man. You'll say what the fuck you feel, and that's right. I'm not trying to say you can't say what you say. You don't see me like trying to delete you or put you in timeout or anything. It doesn't bother me, man. I mean, to an extent, I will say, Billy, I kind of wish you'd kind of held off a minute until I got done with the moment of silence and stuff, but you say what you want. I'm going to let you
finish.
Yeah.
But Beyonce had the greatest music video this year.
Oh. I gotta cry about that. Oh, guys. Watch this. What the hell? Can you see that? Yeah.
Probably not.
It's half mast. By the way.
I thought you were trying to show the reefer that is leaking egg yolks.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
We got
that's gonna start smelling bad soon.
Yeah, out here there's a right beside me, man, there's a truck, dude. Oh god. I'm gonna start my truck for a second. I hope it's not that loud. We'll have to speak up a little bit. How you doing? Stryker. Fishing trucker, why is fishing trucker's message deleted, man? Billy, did you do that? What'd he say? I mean, I can't do anything from here because I have to go in through my channel, please. Can you go in through my channel?
Oh,
go in through my channel and bring my truck in and pull it up. I have access to moderators and stuff. I'm just wondering why his message is deleted on there. Unless I might have accidentally did something on that phone. Click on it. Why did you delete his message, Billy?
Ooh.
What did he say? No, it says, I can read on here, it says Billy Raines deleted it. I want to know why you deleted it. Fishing Trucker, you've been added as a moderator. So, you know, I don't know what he said, but I've never seen him say anything out of line or anything. And I don't want anybody deleted or timed out unless it's something very hurtful to somebody. I'd like to know. Billy, can you tell me why you deleted his message? You just sit there and said something about freedom of speech. I mean, here, let me see. It says I can view deleted. Billy only puts Billy, okay. My buddy Billy, that's okay. He said, my buddy Billy, what up RMT? Okay. Well, Fishing Trucker, once you come out of timeout, you'll be a moderator now, so don't worry about it. You know, I'm not going to take your wrench, Billy. I know you're joking around, but if you're going to sit there and say something about freedom of speech, I don't understand why you're going to put somebody in timeout.
Maybe he did it on purpose for the irony, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Old Bully Raines already bullying people in my daggum live feed.
I'm not getting close to that.
I'm not. Billy, no. It's a thing to the Fishy Trucker every time I can. Well, don't do it in my live feed. I mean, if, you know, I'm asking you not to do it in my live feed. I don't care what your situation is with him. I'm just trying to keep the drama to a minimum. I know there's going to be drama when you're in here, but, you know, that's how it goes. Is that dramatic by saying that? I don't know. Look, please don't do that. Like, Fishing Trucker's been super cool with me. He's a subscriber to my page for a while now, and he's always commenting and liking my stuff. So, I mean, he's been nice to me, so I have no reason to time out. And he didn't say anything that would give anybody a reason to time him out. You know, don't time anybody out unless they say some messed up stuff or something. You know. Star Stryker, now I know who you are. Yes. He's the guy that had the KW that works for Night. It was Night, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, dude, your dog is awesome, by the way. But if we let our dogs meet, my dog would be in love forever. She's beautiful. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I appreciate you guys sharing your stories and stuff about your experiences. Oh, somebody has to say, where's the dog at? Scooter, Scooter, Scooter.
He's worn out.
He's worn out. We gave him this, we got him one of these right here. It's the little, some brand is called Kong, but this is called Vibrant Life. They're a little cheaper, but they're exactly the same thing. But you put treats inside of it, or rawhides like we got, and we stuff them in there, and he just has to try all night to get to it, and he did, and he's a little wore out from chewing on this thing for hours, and you can see like you can see all the teeth marks maybe in it. Yeah, there we go, all the teeth marks. He tried to get into it, and I mean, it was funny because I put a rawhide, these little rawhide rolls, and I stuffed it in there, and it kind of locked in there. But the very end of it, you could see where he had like licked it raw, Did everything he could to try to get to it. I finally pulled it out for him this morning because he worked for that one. Scooter, look, up here. No, over here. Up, right here. Up. Scooter, look. Up. Where's it at? Look. Oh, get off. Where's it at? Oh, you gonna get him, boy. You gonna get him, boy. Oh, you tear him up, boy. Good boy. Oh, okay, you fishing trucker. If that's what it is, if you provoked him, that's all right. I mean, you're a moderator now, though, so, you know, I mean, you've been in all my live feeds, and you comment on all my videos. You've never said anything out of line or anything like that, or you know, you're not a troll, so you're welcome here. You know, Sean Trusty. Sean, hey, you the Sean I met yesterday by chance? Yeah, I guarantee you, fishing trucker, give him more time, he'll destroy it. Now those things are pretty daggum tough, and being that, you know, he's pit, he'll tear it up eventually. He's tore everything we got him up, except for that bone. What's left of that one bone? He's had this one bone for. God, wait, okay.
Worn out.
Look at this guy. Like, he didn't last 2 seconds, did he? He was out. He's had a I guess he had a wore out night. Look at him. Scooter. Huh? What? What is it? What is it, man? What is it, buddy? What is it? Yeah, you tell him. Alright, good boy. Lay down. Now, let me get this back up here. Give me a second. Hang on the phone. Give me a second, guys. Oh, I completely pulled that off of there. This is tough to get this daggum thing up. That should be good. There we go. See the flag, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna read some more comments here. Alright, we got 13 in here. Dang, it'd be nice if you know, one day I get like 20. Now, I'm not really worried or concerned about how many people were in the live feed today at all. I just wanted to, you know, speak my point of view on and share my story with others. You know, today is about, to me, is a lot about like healing, I guess, for people. Sharing your stories with others and hearing other stories is healing. You know, and as far as like Billy, anybody has any problem with Billy doing that or saying that, when you bring comedy, it takes like the legs away from hate and fear when you make something funny. It really does. Yeah, and actually, if thinking about that, you know, I kind of I see where he's coming from. You know, like trying to make a joke or whatever. Comedy does take the legs away from shit. Who hasn't laughed at a fucking horrible joke before? Like, you know, I'm not saying horrible joke. I'm just saying something about an event, like somebody making a joke about a Nazi joke. Like that guy, what's his name? Count Dankula. He was charged with a war or a hate crime because he made a joke video, and it's clearly a joke video, but he had 8 subscribers when he made this dang thing, and he made because he was making it, because his girlfriend was always about how the dog they had was so all cuddly and cute. He taught the dog how to raise its hand up to do a Nazi salute, and he goes, "See Kyle, see Kyle," like that. You know, I don't want to get YouTube to think I'm saying it, but he would do that, and he made that video, and it went completely viral. Ended up getting him charged with a war crime, and he's from he's from dang it, I can't think of.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh man, Count Thank You was awesome, man. He's but anyway, hey, how's the mama today? How you doing?
Great. No, it's hot and I'm tired. I'm ready for bed now.
Yeah, that is the reason. Okay, Sean Trusty's in Tucker B's feed a lot. Look, this bone right here, he's had this thing for forever. But the thing was like this long at first, and he ate all of it. But then he left this part of it, and he hasn't like ate any more of it. He just sits and chews on it, and it's got like teeth scratches all over it and stuff. And that's like one of his favorite.
Keeps his teeth clean.
I was on the USS Enterprise seeing my stepdad when the towers were hit, and we got rushed below deck till they were sure it was safe. Yeah. Oh, I believe it, man.
Is that the one from Star Trek? USS Enterprise?
No.
What was it like seeing that from space? I'm just kidding. Don't get mad.
Yeah, but what made me mad was your wife was talking and you kept on and on about it, and she was trying to explain something. That's what made me mad, because you rudely interrupted. I mean, look.
Oh, get used to it.
Get used to comments and people saying stuff while we're talking. Are you saying I kind of interrupted her because I said something about the comments, but that was my fault for even reacting to the comment. I should have waited till she was finished. I interrupted her, and
everybody makes mistakes.
Star Stryker says laugh out loud aircraft carrier. Oh, you sure? You sure you weren't in space? Did you see Captain? What's his name?
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk and Spock. By any chance? Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. She's got to get to bed. I've got to get ready to. I still got what? Another 16.
An hour.
Wait, that's 6. I said I'd leave at 8. I got to be there by 8.
Yeah.
Okay. I got about a. He said, laugh out loud, I'm a nerd. Well, guys, I got the point across on this live feed. That's the only reason I wanted to do it. I've got to go back and do some editing and this part of the description and try to put a screenshot up on here if it closes out right. I think one of my live feeds might have got taken down because I never saw it come back up. I don't know what happened. But everybody, have a wonderful day. I know it's kind of a tough day for a lot of people. Even 18 years later, it's still hard on a lot of us to think about. It just makes the day kind of, but do this, just remember that the only way we can overcome is stand strong together. We got to stop all this a lot of hate that we got going on right now. We got to start the conversation and get to try to start understanding people's differences, because everybody has something to offer for the other person. No matter what you may think the differences are, there's always something the other person has to offer for each other. So remember that.
Happy anniversary to my parents.
Yes, happy anniversary to her parents. Today's their anniversary. How long have they been married, Laura?
Since 1982.
Okay, they were married in 1982. That's like
37 years. A year older. 9 months older than I am.
Yeah. Alright, so yes, today is the day we all stop and remember. But remember how it is possible for us to come together and stand as one. And that's where we need to be at in this country right now. We need to remember these things and how bad it can get, So, Jamie Creason said, anniversary of your parents.
Thank you.
So everybody have a wonderful day. We love you all. Thank you for coming to our channel. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, look down real quick. You see that down there?
Stop telling people to
just poke it. I mean, just the tip. Just the tip. Hit it with the tip. Just the tip. Or hit the like button. I'd appreciate it if you do hit the like button. You don't have to subscribe. You don't, you know. It's whatever. We will still keep making videos no matter what. I have a video coming out also tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central. You can check it out. You might like it. It's about my first time trucking driver fell. You know, I tell a little story about a little fail that I had. You know, lesson learned. Go check the video out and you'll see. Y'all have a wonderful day and happy trails!